All right, here we go, guys. This is TWiP episode 476. Here we go. Welcome back to another episode of This Week in Photo. I'm your host, Frederick Van Johnson, here to discuss a few of the more interesting stories, disturbing photographers this week. I'm joined by Mr. Tim Engle and Mr. Craig Colvin. Hey, guys. Welcome to
Hey,
the show.
Frederick, how you doing?
My two good buddies. I've shot with both of you guys. I feel like this is, it's like a family reunion going on here.
I know we should all three then get together and shoot.
That's right. We need to do that. Absolutely.
I suggest we go up to
we're
Tim
close
Engle
enough, we can do
Studios. No, we could. Both of you guys have studios. Craig, you have a
Right.
studio in San Jose, and
Right.
Tim, you have one in Sacramento, right?
We'll do one there, one here.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm the odd man out without a studio. I do have a garage though, so we could use my garage. It might be
Alright.
slightly less warm than someone's studio.
Whoops.
Oops, Sacramento is not known for its frigid temperatures in July. That's for sure.
No.
I'm leaving my air-conditioned studio next week. I have a new studio without air conditioning, so I'm not looking
Uh-oh.
forward to that part.
Uh-oh.
Yep,
He's joining my gang.
The shoot in the winter months gang, right?
exactly.
Cool. Wait, well, most of Craig's models don't have any clothes on anyway, so it's okay, right?
They're fine. I'm the one that's just dripping in sweat.
Yeah. All right, we'll leave that right there. All right.
Thank you.
You're like, yeah, thank you. All right, guys. So Tim, I was just up in your studio. What was it? 2 weeks ago? A week and a half ago, or something
Yeah,
like
2 weeks
that?
ago, something like that.
You were
Yeah.
doing a shoot for a friend of mine up there, and you, which you did a fantastic job, by the way. She's
Thank
very
you.
photos. And I got to call you out, man. I got to
Okay.
call you out because we took a break to go get some refreshments for the crew, and guess what? Tim Engle was hunting on the way to the store to get the refreshments. Tim, what were you hunting?
Was it hunting for good locations?
No, I think you were hunting for a Pokemon of some sort.
Oh, that's right. That one time I opened the app and tried it.
It was like
Yeah, one
the
time.
coolest.
That's right.
These cool photographers are like, yeah, Tim's like the epitome of the cool fashion shooter, and he's searching for Pokemon. I'm like, this is end times right now. This is end times.
Well, there is all of that time between like hair and makeup and shoot. So
You're like the dude's surrounded by beautiful women hunting for virtual characters.
Well, his studio may be a Pokestop, so he can just sit there and they
there's
come
one
in.
close, so I have to get my
Yeah.
extra Pokeballs.
I love it. I have to. I have not jumped on that bandwagon. I don't know if I will, but I'm intrigued because people that are smarter than me, like Tim Engle and lots of other people I know, are on that bandwagon. So there's got to be something to this Pokemon thing that I'm missing.
Well, and I have a friend who is a photographer who is a great studio shooter and has started walking and lost 7 pounds.
you could lose 7 pounds by walking without playing Pokemon though. Like
But it got him out.
it's like a horse. It's like a horse with a carrot on a stick in front of his nose. You're like you could just walk. You don't need the carrot.
Whatever it takes to get people out of the house, I'm fine with.
That's true.
Yep.
Americans
I
need
agree
that
with
for
that.
sure. We definitely need more motion. Well, welcome to the show, Tim Engle. It's good to have you on, man.
Great to be back.
And a friend of mine that has been on in forever, like the groundhog. He only comes out every now and then, sees a shadow, goes back underground. Mr. Craig Colvin, what's going on, man?
Oh well, like I said, life changes are going on. I've been selling my brick and mortar business, and I'm actually going to do full-time photography coming up in a couple weeks here.
That's
Congratulations.
really cool.
Yeah.
And we are doing some stuff together too that we haven't talked about yet. So
We have not. Yep. Looking
Yep.
forward to doing that. So I'm going to have time to do that. So yeah.
that's cool.
So part of the process is I have to move my studio in the next couple of weeks, and so that's keeping me just consuming all my time.
That's good. Changes, right? Yeah.
That's right.
Love it. All right. Well, speaking of changes, what a segue. That was a professional podcaster's segue right there.
Until
Wow.
you commented on it, yes, it was.
Until you shined a light on your brilliance. It was
Then you wreck it.
Yeah.
I know. All right. Well, story number one is about Nikon revealing, quote, the pinnacle of portrait primes, the 105mm 1.4E. So we have a Nikon shooter.
Over
on the
here.
show
Over
right
here.
now, right over there. I know you saw
Yeah.
this lens, man. I mean, and you shoot. Don't you? What's your go-to Nikon lens, Tim?
It right now. It actually for the Nikon lens, it's the 85.
Okay.
What is it? 1.8.
And you
And
do
then,
miracles with that thing. Like watching your Instagram feed is just like, and most of the shots are done with that lens, right?
well, right now, actually, it was probably 80% the 85, and then it started to rotate when I got that Sigma 35-1.4.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing is, well, between those two lenses, those are the only two lenses right now I use. I have the 24-70, and that's only in commercial type stuff when I'm in an environment that I just don't know what I'm going to face.
Mm-hmm.
But for people, that 35-1.4 and that 85, the 85 has been the go-to forever. It's just that lens I love.
But literally, like people that have like shelves of lenses behind them, right?
Yeah,
You move mountains and do miracles and cause women to cry with just two lenses,
yeah.
right?
I try. I try.
With just two lenses. So okay, is there going to be a third with this 105 1.4 E ED? And first of all, tell us about for the people that don't know about this lens that shoot Nikon. They're like, okay, tell us about that lens. Tell us what is this lens and what's magical about it.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that it's 1.4. I mean, it's designed to be the portrait lens. I mean, I haven't dove into the exact like construction of it. I
Mhm.
mean, I started drooling over the pictures and didn't get much further.
Yeah.
I
Well, let me
mean,
read. Let me read some from the article here. It says, let's see. Yeah. Okay. So it is a brand new entry into Nikon's legacy of 105 millimeter lenses. It is, like you said, it's 1.4 G. Outstanding image quality, beautiful bokeh in a variety of situations, extra low dispersion. That's what the ED means. It's got a nanocrystal coat on it, and it has an ultra silent, a silent wave motor autofocus system that quickly and accurately locks onto subjects with full-time manual override to make adjustments to focus as you need. So, I mean, it sounds like there's nothing revolutionary about it for the most part, unless I'm missing something other than that. It's probably a really, knowing Nikon, they know how to build glass, right? So this is probably a tank. It's beautiful, and you get it. You're gonna like have to bring a napkin to dab your lip, because you're gonna be salivating,
yep.
and that 1.4, right?
Yeah, I have the 105 micro,
Mm-hmm.
and
I have that one too. Yeah.
and it's a cool lens, but
I
honestly,
love the look of that lens. It's just like I
when you
haven't
put
shot
that
with it.
bayonet on it, yeah, it's crazy, or the lens hood. But it's like I've shot with it twice this year.
Ah,
And
yeah.
so, and I got it because I had a client that required micro stuff 2 years ago, and it was easy. It was cheaper to buy it over the run of the year than it was to rent it.
Mm.
But I haven't pulled it out since then, and it made me tempted to pull it out. But it's like, I mean, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rotate my lenses. I'm gonna push the 105 micro in the next month kind of away and sell that,
Mm-hmm.
and put that in the bank for the 105 portrait. Because I'll
There
use a
you go.
portrait lens way more. I mean, the micro just doesn't do it. And that's a heavy lens.
Yeah, it
The
is.
105 micro is a heavy lens.
Yeah, every time I shoot with you and I look at your kit and I like hold your camera, it's like like that is like it feels like a Mars rover or something, compared to the cameras that I'm used to shooting.
Although you commented the 810 with the 35 fixed wasn't that heavy.
Right, yeah, because we compared that one to what did I have with me? The Lumix
The Lumix, the bigger one, yeah.
GH4 with the battery grip on it, and I had the Nocticron 42.5 on it. So side by side, they were comparable. The Lumix is still a little bit smaller, but they were comparable in
Yeah.
size. Yeah.
So weight-wise as well?
Yeah,
Really?
weight-wise as well.
With the 810, yeah. I mean, I intentionally didn't put a grip on that because I just didn't want the bulk on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's like in the battery for what I do, it's like that battery goes plenty long enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Craig, what are you shooting these days? Canon?
Canon.
Yeah.
5D Mark III. And yeah, I use their 85 portrait lens a lot, and then I use the 70-200.
Those are your two. Those are your two go-tos.
Those are my primary portrait lenses. Yeah.
Do you ever find the need to shoot wide?
I do have a 24-70 if I'm shooting outdoors. In the studio, I'm using 85 or the 70-200. If I'm outdoors, I will use a 24-70.
Hmm.
And
why the zoom? Is the zoom just to give you the flexibility? Because I know studios are limited in space, so that the zoom gives you the flexibility to get closer if you need to without.
Right. Well, I don't typically do just my portraits can be anywhere from a headshot to full body, and so I like having that range without having to run all the way across the studio.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I agree. Well, my go-to lens is that, and you guys know I shoot micro four thirds, and the my favorite lens is that 42.5 Nocticron f1.2. It is that's the lens I had with me when I came up there, Tim. It's yeah, it's just a beautiful lens.
And with the crop, that's equivalent to an 85, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So it is.
And looking at the samples, I mean, you saw what I did, and then we shot with some of your camera. I mean, how did they compare on their sharpness?
Very similar. Very similar. Yeah, very similar. And people, the myth of, hey, micro four thirds, such a small sensor, the optics don't allow you to get, the blurry backgrounds or the bokeh. Not true. Not true. Especially with a lens like this, shooting wide open, it's like it's a thing of beauty. I love it. Well, I don't know. This is cool. So, Tim, are you going to consider this 105?
Yeah, I mean, I have it. I totally would consider replacing it if it's going to give me a more usable 105 than what I have now, for sure.
Cool.
My next, I think, purchase still is actually the Sigma 50. I pulled my 50 out and did a comparison, and it's just I didn't realize how old that lens was getting and how it just was not as sharp as it used to be. Yeah. I think I wore it out. I mean, I've had the 50 almost as long as my 180. I have a 180 fixed, and it's 18 years old.
But see, that's awesome. I love to talk to photographers that have gear that's been worn to death. That's awesome. That means that's the sign of a good photographer, when you shoot your stuff so much that it falls apart.
Well, I show up to my son's football game with the 180 fixed, and I shoot the entire game on D4 with the 180, and then I just crop after that for him, and it's fine.
Yeah. I don't know. Craig, you got any aspirations to upgrade your kit anytime soon? Or are you good to go with what you have?
I'm actually very happy with it. I used to be changing lenses every couple months, it seemed like, and I've been locked into this for about a year now, and I'm quite happy with it.
Yeah. Try hosting a show like TWiP and resist getting new stuff.
Well, I get new stuff. No, just the lenses are all good. So.
Yeah. I love it. That's one of the reasons I'm in micro four thirds, because I can keep the lenses and just keep switching out the bodies. With
there you go.
Yeah.
Craig, on your fine art stuff, I was looking at some other samples the other day from somewhere else of the Lomo. What's this? The brass lens.
Oh yes, yeah. I've shot briefly. I shot for about an hour with one of those once. Very, very interesting look to it.
Yeah.
What is that? I haven't heard of that. The Lomo brass lens. I just googled it.
Well, it's not the name brass lens. I don't know the.
Well, there's a lomography brass lens. Yeah, I'm looking at
the whole thing. It looks brass. It looks like it should be part of a steampunk type.
Right.
But it's a very interesting lens.
Is that it? I'm sharing it on the screen. Is that what we're talking about?
Is it the Pivotal, or I think it's the name? Is it Pivot?
Yeah, I don't recall.
That thing looks.
Oh yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's interesting, huh? And what's magical about this lens other than the fact that it's brass?
Well, it gives kind of a unique. I don't know how to say. Well, it has a little bit of vignetting to it. The one I did, and it gives kind of a little bit of distortion around the edges that makes it look.
It's like a bokeh that it does, kind of, but a little.
Is it like a brass lens baby? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's better than a lens baby.
Oh, for
I
sure.
think the images are much more of the images in focus.
Looking at this lens, I mean, this is like bait for people to ask you about your camera.
Oh, for sure.
This is like serious
Definitely get
photo walk bling right here, man. You go to a photo walk with your chest hanging out,
That's right. And my brass lens.
You should get like a brass chain to chain camera strap to go with it, and just kind of walk out like Flavor Flav. Nice. I like it.
I actually want to try one of those. I've seen some good results from it, and I'm anxious to try one.
Get it. What do they cost?
Around $600.
Pocket change.
Get it.
Yeah.
$600. Every time I talk to Frederick, hey, look what I got. Get it.
Hey, I don't say get it. I just say look what I got, and then you go get it. Speaking of which, are you still shooting with your Osmo?
Yeah, and I'm excited to test the new update to see.
He
if
made
it
you get
does.
one too? Yeah,
Yes.
he did that to me.
I can't. It's my reality distortion field, man. I can't help it.
So they updated it. Supposedly now the Facebook feed to it, the live feed, is much smoother. So I have yet to test that. I updated, I think, a couple days ago.
Cool. I didn't even know about the update. I'll have to download that. Any other? Yeah, I wonder what features they added. Ah, cool.
I used it. I went to the Redwoods this weekend, and actually I used it for stills on the beach and actually in the Redwoods. And I really like actually some of the stills that Osmo does.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. I mean, I posted one that was just kind of a sand dune and sky, and it's a good shot.
Yeah. Excellent. All right, guys, let's move on. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, are you looking for a solution to print photos on demand from your phone while you're on the go? Well, Fujifilm has recently updated their portable printing solution with the release of the SP2. All right, guys, the SP2 from Fujifilm, it's the Instax Share SP2. I have one of these. I have the SP1. SP stands for smartphone. So it is a little Bluetooth, or actually it's Wi-Fi. It's a little Wi-Fi printer that runs on batteries that takes little film cartridges or print paper cartridges that you can then print to from your phone while you're in the field. And I'm told, I don't have one, but I'm told if you have a Fuji camera, you can print directly from your camera to the printer, which is not fair. It's not fair. This is by far, I think I bought my SP1 in 2015, 2014, and it is by far one of my favorite accessories. You know, one of the favorite accessories that you don't really need, but you want it. It's like the perfect gift for a photographer, because you go out, you make these prints, and you give them to people. You could take a photo of somebody with your phone or your food or something at dinner and show them, or even send it to them or post it on Instagram. But when you make a print and scribble something on it and hand it to them, it's a whole different level of joy. It's indescribable. Craig, have you seen these, the Instax print?
I have. Well, I've seen yours too. And watched you print from it, the SP1. I haven't seen the SP2 yet, but I love the idea. I really, we're losing the prints with all this digital today, and there's something about holding that physical print that makes it different and makes you relate to it differently. So I love the idea of encouraging more printing and getting prints in people's hands, even though it is just a little bitty print. There's something intriguing about that. I encourage that.
Yeah. I'm not seeing looking at this the update, I'm not seeing a whole lot of internal changes to it. I'm sure they made everything better, knowing Fuji. But it's more of an industrial design change, because
the form factor looks better. Absolutely.
It looks better, and but I didn't hate the old one, because it's not like you see it all the time. It's like you pull it out, you make a print, you put it back in your bag.
Right.
So,
I think this would be great for street photography. I don't do a lot of people photography when I do street photography, but sometimes I do, and I always end up giving them my card and say, I will send you a photo. And being able to just print it out right there would save that step, save a lot of hassle.
Yeah. Right. Now, Tim, what about you, man? Have you played around with these at all?
I played around with one a while back, and it's fun to use. I like the idea, and as when we shoot right now, I'll do iPhone shots, kind of like during the shoot, and I let the models or whoever it is, upload those iPhone shots, and they can put them on their Instagram or whatever. And I love the idea of then a takeaway. People like that tangible little takeaway. And combined with the Hipstamatic app on my phone, I can make some pretty cool stuff just with that, and being able to print it would be cool.
Yeah, you have an abuse problem with Hipstamatic, man. I've seen you you need a Hipstamatic intervention or something. No, these are cool. It's people will say, well, it's great, but then how much is the paper and all that? And paper, it's not really that expensive. A box of film or paper is about $20 for a 2-pack, and that gives you how many in there?
15 or
10. Yeah, you get 10. So come on, $2 a piece, I guess. And you can get them cheaper.
That's a 2-pack. So
okay, so $1 each. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So $1 each. Done. There you go. And I actually found if you buy them in bulk on Amazon, you can get them much cheaper than that too. Like if you buy bulk multi-packs of it, you can get it really cheap. Get it really cheap on Amazon.
And of course, back in the film days, I used to shoot the Polaroid back to test light, and it was a buck a pull then.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually used to charge $2 a pull, but it was a buck a pull, and I used to give those to like the clients to take away. So really, it's kind of the same concept, other than it's not coming from my camera directly, like the iPhone.
Yeah. I was at someone's house, I think it was last year or so, and they had one of these printers, probably several of them, and they were building a wall, like photo by photo, an entire wall covered in Instax prints.
Oh my God,
that's nice.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. So basically, all their Instagram shots they were printing and putting on the wall, you know, one by one, so you could like look from left to right and see the chronology of kind of their life over the past couple of years.
Yeah, that's cool. Was that Joseph Ladaski? He does something. Everyone who visits his studio, he does.
Oh no, it wasn't Joseph, but he does do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an expensive wall.
It is. It is. But it's expensive but cheap at the same time because it's priceless when you think about it, right?
Sure.
In the end, when you fill up that wall, you can't really recreate that wall because, you know, I mean, you save the images. That's the cool thing about the Instax. The images are on your phone versus with a regular Polaroid.
Sure.
You take the shot and that's it. You don't have a digital, you know.
Yeah, you're one and done.
Yeah, one and done. But these are cool. I don't know, Craig, you gonna buy this? You guys gonna buy this thing?
I'm in.
Yeah, I think I will. I like the idea and the concept. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. Yeah.
Frederick says buy.
I say buy. Yeah. So $200.
There's not a buy button in the show notes. Yeah, that links to your associate account, so you get
exactly. I think
that's right.
Yeah. Associate account. Yeah, I could make enough to buy what? Probably enough to buy my printer. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
I buy something every time I'm on this show.
I know. Well, this time I'm buying something because this thing looks pretty cool. I may have to get it. I like it.
Next visit, you get to bring it.
All right. If I order it, I will bring it.
Okay.
All right, guys. Let's move on to the next story. This story comes to us from Craig Colvin. Craig Colvin. I'm gonna blame you for this story, man. So, Microsoft Pix. Craig, tell us about Microsoft Pix. What is this thing?
So I haven't actually played with it yet. I just read about it. It is a new app.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. It is an app for the Microsoft has released for the in the App Store for the iPhone, and it is they claim it uses artificial intelligence to improve your images that come out of your phone. It takes up multiple frames and will look at the frames to see if there's any motion and eliminate any frames that had motion in it. Try to capture the frame that has still, the subject is the most still. It will do automatic adjustment, exposure adjustment, and all that after the fact. And some of the samples they have, definitely the images are an improvement over the standard iPhone image.
Yeah, I mean, do you think is it enough to like make me want to change? Because looking at this, there's an app from Athentech called Perfectly Clear, and it does some of this automated. Let me make the decisions for you on exposure, detects faces. It has a Lightroom plugin so that you can fix certain aspects of photos, and it will intelligently find the faces and fix those defects over a series of photos, you know, so that if you change the eyes on someone or fix eyes, it will replicate that change across any number of photos without you having to go into each one and find the eyes, you know. So I'm a big fan of that. And on the iPhone they have an app. Where is it? I have it on my iPhone. It's called Lucid. It's also from Perfectly Clear. It does a lot of the stuff that their Lightroom plugin does, and it I think it uses some of the same code base as the Lightroom plugin, but it does magical stuff. Like if teenage girls find out about Lucid, they will never post another photo that has not been processed through Lucid because it is beautiful. It'll go in, make your eyes a little bigger, clean up your skin, but not too much. If your face is too fat, it'll squeeze it down. If it's too skinny, it'll blow it up. You know.
Jeez.
Yeah, and it's tastefully done changes. It's not like Snapchat heavy-handed stuff. It's like, you can't tell that the work has been done with this app. So, yeah, I would definitely check that out. But I'm happy like Microsoft is jumping in and doing stuff like this too. This is
Well, Right. Anybody that's moving the ball forward or trying to, I think, is always a good thing.
I agree. I agree. Look at this. Even their site is really cool. Go ahead, Microsoft. Look at that.
Yeah, very un-Microsoft-like.
Yeah, I know. I know. Look at that, comparing live image. So they have your live image technology, which does basically animated GIFs or cinemagraphs, and they're going head to head with the Apple camera. Look at that.
Right. And it does that automatic. So you can say, I would like it to, show the motion, and it will automatically do it, as opposed to the ones where you have to paint in what areas you would like to have motion in.
Okay, now I got to download it.
Okay.
That is cool. Okay, Craig, you win. You
win.
Right.
I knew there was something cool about it. I just couldn't remember what it was.
They buried the lead. Why they put that feature way at the bottom of the page above the social share links? All this other stuff is like, yeah, everybody else does that. Then they put the cool thing way at the bottom.
Way at the bottom.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll definitely get that. That's cool. Yet another app to put on my phone next to Pokemon Go. No, I'm kidding. That's cool.
I think you need to try the Pokemon Go because, as you said, you're obviously missing something.
I'm missing something, or
well, you're across the street from a park, I think, aren't you?
I am. Yeah. So I don't know. I know that park is designed for drone flight. So that's when I go to that park, the DJI Phantom 3 goes with me, and I fly around. Although, what if they did a mod for Pokemon Go that worked with the drone so that you could get flying Pokemon?
That's right. That'd be badass.
You could dogfight. That would be killer, right?
Well, if you could capture them, you could just put your phone on your drone and fly to these spots instead of walking there.
Yeah, or that too. Well, your phone is already connected, or your tablet or whatever is connected to your controller, right? So
one of the hacks is that you're supposed to walk to hatch eggs.
Oh God.
Well, so you can just
Tim, I'm sorry, man, but I have to remind you that you are, in fact, a grown-ass man. So you can't.
Yes, Frederick.
You can't, and you're a fashion photographer.
I know plenty of people older than he is that are playing Pokemon.
I know, me too. I'm just giving him crap. Yeah. I know. But no offense. But Pokemon Go clearly, there was a God, what was the name of that game that was out from Google prior to Pokemon Go that essentially uses the same engine? God, I forget. It's something with an N. I can't remember it, but it was a little bit too complicated. But it was the same kind of thing where you actually search around in the real world and find things and battle and all that stuff. So, but it's the same company that built that, created the Pokemon gold mine, and changed the world, which is interesting. Something that was old and not that successful comes back and it's all new again. Look at that.
Right. There you go.
Comes back with like gangbusters. Jeez.
With a vengeance. Yeah. It's just that's.
It was called Inverness.
Ah, yeah. Was it called Inverness?
Inverness. INVE. Oh yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. Let's take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to take a question from one of the TWiP Army. All right, guys. Periodically on This Week in Photo, we answer questions and respond to feedback that has come in from our Army, the TWiP Army. This week, we have a question from Joseph Burns, and Joseph says, and Tim, I'm going to let you answer this one first. He says, I'm wondering if anyone has any insight as to how to calculate how much to charge for a commercial client. For example, if I do a product photo for a company knowing they will be using it for an ad or website and will be making money over and over again on that one photo, do you charge extra for that? I've broken down the cost of doing business, cost of goods, although I don't charge hourly, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, he goes into detail about it, but the gist of the nexus of that question is, how much do you charge, or how you figure out pricing for commercial clients, and is it based on usage? In other words, if they're going to just use it once on a billboard and it's over, or are they going to be using it as part of an ongoing ad campaign? Do you charge more for that? Tim, what do you think?
The first step I think he did right was calculating what it takes hourly to function. Because that was kind of my original approach, was what it is hourly, and then I just kind of I know that a full day for me is 8 hours, and then 8 hours times whatever the hourly rate is, and that's kind of where I'm at. And then if they buy a half day, it's slightly greater than if you just split it in half, so it's more conducive to buy a full day.
So you use the day rate model. You don't. Well, do you charge based on who the client is? Like, for example, if Bob's tire repair down the street hires you, do you charge them a different rate than if Google approaches you?
No, I don't. But it could cost more in production. It may cost more to execute the Google shot because they're going to have to back up model releases, and have pro models, and they're going to have permits because of the location they're at, and they're going to have insurance and security. So the production cost may be greater. My day rate's the same, but the production part's going to be greater. So Bob's tire just needs, Bob and his tire.
Yeah.
And there's no releases, and it's going to be much less in production for that kind of stuff.
And for your day rate, do you just have like a full day and half day rate, or do you?
Yeah, full day, half day, and then I do have an hourly. If it goes beyond the day rate, then it rolls to the hourly at that point.
Okay.
So if we're going beyond 8 hours, then we're rolling into an hourly. It's like, okay, and I come to the client and say, we're now past the original discussed time. If we're going to stay longer, it's going to be that which we discussed before. Shall we continue?
Yeah. Okay.
So you don't take into account then what it's going to be used for. So you don't license the image, the resulting images.
I have in certain cases locally, and the things that I do, it really is not. It's, from a corporate or PR or small ad stuff, I don't. If it's a worldwide ad, then we get into the discussion of that. I have licensed some stuff in the past.
Do you have a standard contract for everyone, or do you have different contracts for different?
I actually use Blinkbid.
Blinkbid. Oh,
yeah, and that's my software, and they actually have an online version now. I'm still my Mac-based software, and then I have all my numbers into that plus my kind of legal mumbo jumbo. And then I just.
So here's a slight tangential question to this. Okay. So what about model releases? I did a show with Jack Reznicki and Ed Greenberg about. Ed's a lawyer, Jack's a photographer, and they wrote a book called The Copyright Zone. And one of the things they put in the copyright zone was the fallacy of using digital or iPhone app-based model releases and how they probably wouldn't stand up in a court of law if you needed to get to that point. Do you guys, both of you guys, do you use those?
I'm still using a digital release, and it's the same verbiage. I mean, and I had some stuff that Getty had for stock, and it's the release they originally recommended and were okay with. Okay. So I stuck with that.
When you say digital, is it a PDF that you print out and they sign it, or is it?
So it's signed digitally.
Sign with their finger on the phone.
Signed on the finger with the finger, and then it's like I email that to them and myself, and actually I have a BCC, so it emails to 2 accounts of mine.
Okay. And you've never had any problems with that at all?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I use Easy Release.
Yeah, the same one.
App.
Same one.
Yeah, and it's the Getty app, and it prints out and looks just like the paper version would.
Yeah.
And no problems ever?
No problems ever.
Well,
I've never. I mean, I've had to submit my releases sometimes when I'm doing, publications, but I've never had anybody challenge where I've had to have any legal things regarding release.
Okay. Now, Craig, what about the listener question from Joseph Burns here about calculating what to charge a commercial client? How do you do that?
So I don't typically do much with commercial clients. I do have a day rate that I will charge. Most of mine are images I've already shot, and I'm licensing them depending upon the usage and what the reach is. How is it short term or long term? And it sounds like from his question that that's what he's kind of getting at and concerned about. You can certainly
usage piece of it.
Right. You can certainly just charge your hourly rate, and if that's enough for you, fine. Just give them unlimited rights to use it. If he's concerned about it, though, you can do a licensing agreement, and each use could have a different license. So if they're they come to you and you do the image and they're going to use it for this ad campaign, they can do that. But if they want to use it again next year, they have to come back and negotiate a license with you. There's a really good usage calculator on the website for the Association of Photographers. It's the-aop.org, and they have a usage calculator where you set in what your day rate is, and then you set up the period of a license, what the media is it print or digital or right? What time frame, what territory, and it will help calculate what you should use for your licensing.
Very cool. Very cool. So then, Craig, continuing on, when you're shooting, you do a lot of personal work. You have like we'll link to your stuff obviously, but both of you guys have a vast body of work. The models that appear in your work, what's the license that you provide to them or that they provide back to you? In other words, do you own the images?
I own the image. The model release gives me full control of the image, and I can do with it what I would like to do.
Okay.
So my obligation to the model is just the fee we negotiate for the session.
Okay.
And they have no rights going after that. No rights to the resulting image.
You give them a set of retouched images.
I do. I give them a set of retouched images which they can use for promotional use. They can use on all of their social media and on their portfolio, but they cannot resell it.
Do you do any sizing of those? Like, do you create like an Instagram ready, Facebook ready, blog ready version?
I used to, and it was just too much of a hassle keeping track of them all. So now I just give them a 800 pixel, 72 DPI, medium to low quality JPEG. So it works great for digital. And then I say, if you ever want to print it, come back to me, and I'll help you print it.
That's
and
cool.
I print it for them, so that they don't have the high resolution file.
And then you charge them for that print, don't you?
I do charge them.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, it depends on if it's just one off, and a lot of my models I work with over and over and over again, and I just will give them the prints. It's not prints are cheap.
Yeah.
But I have had
$1 each, right?
There you go. That's a little pricey for the size, per square inch. I have had instances in the past where I did give them a high resolution images, and then they were going and doing prints and selling the prints. So that's why I no longer do that. I will do the prints for them.
You've been hurt, haven't you, sir?
Well, I just experience is the thing you gain the moment after you don't need it.
Right.
I love that. That's brilliant. That's the story of my life right there. Yeah. That's the story. Craig, what about you, man? When you're working with your models and you're doing, because you do a lot of just experimental, like just playing around in the studio and making great art type work. What's the relationship that you have with the model in terms of licensing? I mean, sorry, Tim. I mean Tim.
It's still a release, and I'll still, I try and provide them something that serves them. If it's a fashion model and they need some things for their portfolio, and it's been interesting in the past couple years. So I'll do some work with a model, and then I have clients coming back now and saying, "Hey, I want that model. Can you give me that person?" So the ones that I've kind of worked with have gotten work in some form through association. And sometimes they're with agencies or not. If they're with an agency, I push them that way. If they're not with an agency, then they can deal with them directly. But I get a full release on that stuff. I don't print right now. I'd love to print. Maybe I can talk to Craig about printing.
I highly recommend it.
I just never get a chance. But so I just, it's kind of portfolio pieces for them. So I have a few of my favorites that I work with, and especially if it comes to experimental. And the other thing that's proven out is that doing the experimental things has led to commercial clients requesting that style or that type of stuff. And so I've discovered that it pays off to test and experiment and push. And I don't want to walk into a commercial client and go, "Hey, I want to try this today. This is a new thing I just came up with."
Right.
So I need to be able to walk in and say, "Oh, I've proven that." And for me, I want to have executed a technical thing at least 3 times to validate that I can perform that, in the heat of battle.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart. So printing wise, just to close this off, Mr. Colvin, what you said you print stuff? What's your printer of choice?
I use the Epson 3880. Which is a great.
That's the one I have, but I have the predecessor to that one, the 3800.
Right. Great printer. It took me a little while to calibrate it and dial it in. I do my own calibration and own paper profiles. But once I did that and kind of dialed in, I love it, and it's quick and easy, and I print daily.
And then what do you do with those prints that you're printing daily? Are you hanging them up? Are you framing them? Or what are you doing?
Well, a lot of them are I have a lot of gallery shows with my prints, and so I'm constantly printing for that. I mat them, frame them, ship them out.
Nice.
And then I will some, my best work I will also just print and mat and just have just the mat in a little it's a little flip stand where you can flip through the images, and I'll put that in the studio.
That's cool.
For people to look at.
Yeah, I need to print.
Yeah, hey, Instax, man, SP2, jump right in there. You could be printing tomorrow. Amazon Prime could have it to you by Wednesday. You could be printing Wednesday.
Well, so then if I cam ranger the image over to the iPhone, then it's saving it, then I can print it.
Correct.
There you go.
Yeah.
You
can print it very small. Yeah, Craig. That's the thing that's really stopped me from printing is I got that printer several years ago. Obviously, I still have a lot of paper for it and ink. And I was just like, you print from it, it's beautiful, and then you put it on the kitchen counter and look at it. It's like, oh, it's beautiful. Now what? Now I got to go frame this thing or mount it on foam board, or then I just found it was easier to send the digital file through Rose to Bay Photo, have them mount it on foam board and make it beautiful, and send it back to me on steel or whatever, and send it back, and it's ready to go. I can hang it right then. It seems like it's cheaper than maintaining a printer and the ink and the paper and the space and the power.
It actually it depends on the volume that you're doing, right? If you're doing a couple or 4 or 5 a month, Bay Photo's the way to go.
Yeah.
But I sometimes have shows where I have to print 40 images and mat them, and it gets cost prohibitive. I can print and mat a photo for $5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like that one like this one behind me. That's a shot of one of my little Lumix cameras. I did like a close macro shot of it and blew it up, and I just sent that thing off. I just sent it off to Bay Photo and had them print it. And I get where did I get that frame from? Oh, that's a little cheap IKEA frame. Stuck it in the IKEA frame. Looks great, and I can change it up whenever I feel like it. Cost me next to nothing, So,
and that's the one thing that's kept me, because I've had opportunities for gallery shows, but when I look at the cost of printing and framing, I'm like, I can't. So if I could print myself.
Right. So, and the frames are a one-time expense, right?
True.
I have 42 frames, and just constantly swapping images in and out of the frames and shipping them off to the next show.
Yeah. I think what I want to do is, like, in my living room, I want to do kind of the grid look, and do those kind of grids that Bay Photo has, and just constantly change them out, or like at least once a month or once every other month or something, to keep it fresh.
Sure.
All right. Well, I hope that answered your question, Mr. Burns, Joseph Burns. And listeners, if you have a question you'd like us to try to answer, and I put quotes around the try to answer on the show, just click on that Contact Us link at the top of any of the TWiP pages and select TWiP, which is the main show, and you can submit your question, or you can select any of the shows that we have there and send a message to them, and it goes literally directly to our Slack channel, the TWiP Slack channel internal, and everyone involved with that show will get your response instantly. So check that out. All right, guys, let's jump into the Picks of the Week segment. This is the segment where you guys can pick anything to recommend to the TWiP Army as long as it is somehow related to photography. Tim Engle of Tim Engle Photo in Sacramento, California. What's your pick of the week?
That's just Engle Photo, by the way.
Is this Engle Photo?
Engle Photo. I dropped the first name.
Oh, so you're leaving the legacy for the kids. I see how that works.
Right. So I was looking in my camera bag today, and I thought, one thing that I kind of pull out on my spare time and play with is this Tiffin ND filter, and I believe it's 10 stops. I started doing some 30-second exposure stuff during the day. And obviously it does some some cool stuff with clouds, with water, and even there's some landscapes that I did that there would have been people in it.
Yeah.
They're basically eliminated, and some freeway stuff. I did some freeway work where looked like there was no cars.
Yeah.
And so that that world at 30 seconds is kind of different, and so it's kind of been a fun project. Actually, the past year and a half I've been working on.
So the neutral density filter, I look at these filters, man. I know they're worth their weight in gold, literally, because look at the price of this thing. It's $225 for a filter.
Yes.
I'm like, I look at that, I could buy an Instax printer for that. But it's a different world, I know. And the other thing I have one of these, and I went to New Zealand on this workshop with Mr. Trey Radcliffe, and I dropped it. And shattered my filter while in the field. That's the worst feeling ever, man. Especially when you know how much these things cost. It's like,
well, and it's a balancing act because you have to focus, lock the focus out, carefully screw it on.
Yeah.
And then you have to, and then the one thing in the very beginning I got it and I left the back viewfinder curtain open, and didn't realize that fogged.
Oh, coming in. Oh, it's right.
Yeah, through the viewfinder, yeah.
Yeah, so that was like, I was totally baffled. I kept looking at it, I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
And so I read online, and somebody says, close the back curtain.
A lot of people even know that those DSLRs have that little shade that you can flip closed to stop the light from coming into the viewfinder.
Yeah, and then I use just either, a cable release for the Cam Ranger to trigger it, and then with the Cam Ranger, then I can see the results.
Right.
Fine tune it. And but it's fun. I enjoy kind of getting out just on my own and shooting landscapes with that stuff. People.
The other essential piece of kit to have with you if you're going to start experimenting with long exposures is what?
Tripod?
Thank you. Yeah, unless you have nerves of steel, tripod.
Well, tripod and a camp chair.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So yeah, so you can just sit down with the little control.
Good, because I never do just one 30-second exposure. Right, I'm doing 10 minutes worth.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and that adds up in a hurry. So
right. One of the things that got me interested in mirrorless photography was experimenting with long exposures with the Olympus cameras, because Olympus, at least the OMD EM5 that I had at the time, it has this mode where you can actually see the exposure build over time on the back of the camera.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, so I took it to San Francisco, like on the side of where the ballpark is. Set the camera on the tripod on those rocks, and got the stereotypical pier shot. So I got that shot, and I'm just sitting there watching it, and you just hold the shutter release. You're like, oh yeah, that's about right. Click, stop.
Nice.
And the battery lasts you 5 minutes.
No, it actually lasts a long time. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, the battery's really good on those cameras. Yeah, it's that feature was like, okay, now this is getting interesting now.
So Tim, I had a question. Do you get any color cast with that filter?
Yeah, I have to white balance it. I don't quote me, I forget what it was that I change it to, but then I, of course, white balance a little bit back in Lightroom to kind of get it where I like it. Yeah. And a lot of times I go black and white on it.
Right.
And so it doesn't matter.
I have 3 different 10-stop filters, and all 3 of them have, issues.
Yeah.
One of them really bad color cast, and so I'm always looking for others.
Yeah, no, this
one
really
sounds good. It says it also will block a lot of the IR, which causes problems when you're doing long exposures. So I'm gonna have to give it a try.
Yeah, well,
last ND set I bought was for the drone, Craig, the same drone you and I both have, the
right.
Phantom. Yeah, so that you can basically use longer shutter speeds and gives you more of a pleasing cinematic type image. But I have yet to use those. They're in my bag. I just haven't used. You know why I haven't used them, Craig? Maybe you can help me with this live on TWiP.
Okay.
I can't get that little the lens thing off of my Phantom. I can't, and I'm afraid to try too hard because it's so fragile.
You break it. Yep. So I had the same problem, and I got online and found somebody recommended wrapping a rubber band around it and using it to pull, and you can just pull straight down, and it'll just twist right off.
Okay, so is it screwed on, or is it just?
It is screwed on.
Okay.
But it's screwed on really tight.
Like, why did they do that? Like,
I don't.
I know why they did it, because they want you to break it, so you have to go buy another one.
That's right.
But a lot of it is just I built the rubber band around it. It made it thicker, and I was actually able just to then I had more leverage.
Yeah, and you
With
just do
rubber
it with
bands.
hand pressure. You
Just hand pressure. Yep.
okay? Because I was like, I got so frustrated after I got those filters in. I was like, okay, I'm going to the garage. I'm gonna get some pliers. I'm getting this thing off one way or another.
Yeah. Don't. I
Vice
wouldn't
grips.
recommend that. I wouldn't recommend that.
Vice grips, yeah. Vice grips, a little WD-40, anything will come off, man.
But all my images are soft now.
I know, I can't understand it. I don't know what's going on.
All distorted too.
All right, Craig, it's your turn, man. What's your pick of the week?
All right, mine is called Palette, and what it is a palettegear.com. It is USB buttons, sliders, and dials that you hook up to your computer, and it's a panel that sits off to the side of the keyboard, and it integrates with all the Adobe products, Lightroom, Premiere, Photoshop, and allows you can customize each of those sliders and buttons to do whatever you'd like. So the exposure slider, the clarity slider in Lightroom, you can use the buttons to do pick and color coding.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Wasn't this I seem to remember this being a Kickstarter, was it?
Yeah, it was a Kickstarter. They had it. I saw it at WPPI. They had a booth there. They just started shipping 2 weeks ago. So I bought it at WPPI and just received it.
And you've used it? You've
Oh
played
yeah,
around?
I use it. I use it constantly now.
So give us an idea of the workflow with it, because I'm looking at it on the screen here, and I'm thinking that looks like a lot of stuff when I could just click and drag my mouse.
Well, so what I found is I was constantly moving my mouse back and forth, especially in Lightroom, to go to all the sliders, and you have to be precise and click right on the slider. And with this, because it's tactile, my hand is just over on the side, and I can very quickly adjust 3-4 different things in seconds, as opposed to having to go to all of those sliders, point with my mouse in Lightroom.
Oh, and I'm looking at the video. I'm showing the video on the screen here. It looks infinitely configurable, because you can just keep buying these things, right?
I don't know if you can. If you switch to my screen.
Sure. Yeah, there you go.
So they're magnetic, and they just attach to each other. So you can change the configuration all you would like. Right?
Oh, look at that.
They
Okay.
they all light up, and you can change the color that you would like them to be. So I can have these two be red and these two be blue. It auto detects when you switch between apps and changes the configuration of all of the buttons. And has a little cheat sheet that pops up on the screen as well, so you can remember until you've learned what each one's going to do. In Photoshop, I have 2 of the dials here. One's for brush size, one's for brush softness. And instead of going to the keyboard and doing that, I can very quickly do it. The one thing it does not seem to do, and I haven't figured out how to do, is I would like for one of these to do opacity as well on the brush. You can do opacity on a layer, but I haven't figured out how to do opacity on a brush. But yeah, I'm ordering more of these. I don't have enough buttons and dials for what I would like to do.
Really? Yeah, I'm looking at their pricing page right now.
It's like a photo DJ.
That's what I was going to say.
It is.
Especially with those headphones you have on, Craig. You just,
Well, they also work with music apps as well, MIDI and MIDI controllers and all of that.
Interesting. And I would assume probably video editing as well, right?
Correct.
Like as a scrubber back and forth.
Yep.
Yeah. So pricing $199 for the starter kit, and
I got the expert kit plus an extra dial.
So you got this thing plus one of these. Oh, an extra dial. Okay, this
the multifunction dial, right?
And what's the arcade style button? Oh, this is just a regular button.
It's just a regular button. Yeah. So I use that in Lightroom. I set it up so that it will do a pick or reject. So one button for reject, one button for pick, and auto advance. So then I can just hit the buttons and go through my photos. I mean, that's easy enough to do on the keyboard, but since I have this, why not?
Okay. So, you know what? I wish I hadn't scrolled to the bottom of this page.
The wood one, yeah.
They have them in wood, and they got me with limited edition. Look at that.
Yeah.
Of course. You know,
Yeah.
make them wood, make them glass, make them titanium. You know,
They're wood and they light up. Frederick said.
yeah. I would love to have a desk with these built into the desk, or like have a recess in the desk so that you could kind of, have them sit flush with the desk or something.
Right.
That would be killer. Yeah. Huh. Tim, project.
Nice.
That is cool. Look at that pick of the week. And you just got that, right, Craig? So you're still
Yeah, a couple weeks old. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're still happy with it after a couple weeks. That says a lot.
Well, we can all get different buttons, and then when we get together, we can merge them all and do big things.
Yeah, like Voltron, right there.
Right.
Done. All right. My pick of the week is I'm actually recycling a pick of the week. Aaron Nace from Phlearn.com, PHLEARN.com, was on the show a couple weeks ago, and he mentioned this thing. If you could see it right there, which way's up? There you go. It's called Nix, and it is. When Aaron showed it, I thought it was cool, but then when I got one and played with it, and they sent this over for me to test. I think I have to send this back, but I finally got it. I understood this thing. Basically, the gist of it is you put this on any surface, anything, the wall, anything, and it will communicate with its app on your phone and give you the exact color of what that thing is, like precisely. So, which is, you think about it from a graphic. I have a graphic design background, and this is like magic for that.
That's crazy.
Because you think a lot of people say, well, how come I just can't take a photo of something and then sample that photo, the color, because it's always different. You'll never get accurate color because the surrounding light sources contaminate it, and it's never right. This thing blocks out all external light, and then takes essentially a photo of it and then tells you what color that is instantly. So when I first got this, I was when I was a kid, how old was I? Like, I don't know, 6 or something. I discovered masking tape, and everything in the house needed tape on it at that point. They called me the Mad Taper.
Did you ever get a label maker? Yeah, don't do that.
I do.
The label maker. You label everything.
Dude, these drawers behind me had labels on them, and I had to resist and take them off. But now I'm the mad color sampler with this thing. Everything I'm like, oh, what Pantone color is that? Like, if you want to know what the Tiffany's box color is exactly, because you want to use it in the website design, you can get it now. It's in this any color you want. And this thing is rugged. The batteries last. It charges up. Has an internal battery. There's a little USB port on there. You charge it that way, and it will last forever. You just throw it in your bag and just use it whenever you want. Run the app and sample color. So, as a creative, this is like, you gotta have one of these. It's like, you gotta have one. So sorry, Tim, I know you're gonna order.
Now I have dials and color checkers and all this stuff coming.
Welcome to TWiP world, man. It's we like to buy reconfigured atoms from time to time.
Jeez.
So
I still don't have the new drone, so I've resisted that.
Oh,
why don't you have it?
Oh yeah, you had to have a drone.
You gotta have a drone, dude.
Remember, I had like version 1 or 2.
You did, yeah. You beat us all.
So I was there. I was there and used it and crashed it way before you even thought about it.
You totally did. Yeah. I'm still happy with my Phantom 3, though. I know somebody on the show, not you, Tim, and not me. Someone on the show decided that their drone was a submarine.
Oh.
Well, yeah.
Tell us the story, Craig, about the amazing
I would rather
floating
not.
drone. Are you embarrassed?
I should not have been doing what I was doing. I could not see the drone, and I was out over a river taking a photograph of a video of my friend, and I backed away from him, and I stopped. Turns out I was like a half inch from a tree. And my friends go, you're awfully close to that tree. I say, okay, I'll move away, and I hit the stick the wrong direction. Went right into the tree, splashed in the water. And luckily, it splashed 6 inches from shore. So I was able to retrieve it because it dropped off to 30 feet deep in a really fast-moving river. This was the Chutes River up in Oregon. So I was able to pull it out. The motel where we were staying, I went and asked them for rice, a bag of rice, and they gave me the rice they used for weddings for them to throw. And gave me a big garbage bag, and I put the drone in it, tied it off, set it in our vehicle. We were going on a float trip for 4 days down the river. Got back, no issues with it.
And
Wow.
it flies, no problem?
Flies. It still flies, no
And the
problem.
pictures are fine, and the camera's
Pictures
okay?
are fine. Everything's okay.
Wow.
Wow, you
So,
dodged a bullet,
I got
man.
Yeah.
big time. I got lucky.
I can almost guarantee if that was salt water, you would have been.
Oh
you
yeah.
know.
Well, this is really fresh. I mean, mountain runoff water coming off Mount Hood. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I've never taken a bath like that, but I've had close calls over water. Tim, you remember, right?
I was there.
Yeah, so I was very close to where you were, only mine did not go in the water. And mine was worse, Craig, because mine, I was out of battery.
Oh.
So, and over water, and inexperienced flying, and I had Tim Engle streaming me live on Facebook.
It was like the descent of death as it dropped.
I just start, like, your hands just start shaking, and it's like, oh my God, I can't control it, and left is right and right is left, and, you just, when you're nervous, I really admire pilots, right? Because when you're nervous, those controls don't make sense anymore. They just don't. You're just, I don't know, just come back. You just start moving stuff. So.
Yeah, his Apple Watch and his blood pressure was like spiking.
Oh, geez, yeah, I was, because when we stopped, I just held my hand like this, and it was just like, shake it like that. I was like, oh man, and I had just gotten it, not a couple weeks ago, I guess, a couple weeks prior.
Yep.
So yeah, and that would have been just a bad scene all around. All right, well that's my pick. My pick is the Nix. Go check it out. We'll put a link to it in the show notes for this episode. And I know you guys are gonna go buy this after we.
Yeah. Well, how much is it? I'm just adding up all the things I'm buying.
I'm not sure. This is a press unit. I have to send it.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're at $349, Frederick.
Okay.
Oh, total of stuff that you have to buy?
No, the Nix is $349.
Oh, this is wow.
It is a diamond.
Wow. Look at that. It's a black diamond too. Look at that. All right. Cool. All right, guys. We are at the end. God, these shows go so quick. We're at the end of another episode of This Week in Photo. Tim, what's going on in your world, man? What do you have coming up?
Corporate work. I have kind of a business bureau for a city that I need to do featured businesses to photograph. And
how do you charge those people? What's the mechanism you use to charge them?
Day rate.
No, I mean like online. Do you use, because when I do stuff like that, I use FreshBooks and I invoice them that way. What do you use for the back end?
I'm still using QuickBooks.
Okay, yes, very similar.
So I could do it all in BlinkBid, but I just haven't been in QuickBooks for so long that I just translate it over to that and push it out.
Yeah, same here. Well, I like FreshBooks. I was using FreshBooks before they were a sponsor on the network, and it just works. You get clients in there, make an invoice, all the line items are there, boom. Yep. You can even have them mail the invoice to them as well as send them a PDF, like snail mail, which is kind of cool. Craig, what do you use for invoicing?
I use QuickBooks as well.
QuickBooks?
Yep.
All right. Yeah. I'm not leaving FreshBooks.
I don't do enough to justify FreshBooks. I'm licensed.
Why is it more expensive?
Yeah, you have to pay a monthly charge for both.
And you don't with QuickBooks? What is it?
I already have QuickBooks for my other businesses.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
So
I own the software, so it just is there. So
yeah. FreshBooks, there's no software. It's cloud. It's all cloud.
Which I like the idea. I would be into the idea of doing it from my phone or iPad at a more rapid pace, which is QuickBooks Online, which I have yet to do. But I think that's actually in the next 6 months. I'm going to move over to that. So. But other than that, I have just some personal projects. I'm working on some natural light series actually Wednesday and Thursday this week. I was at the coast this weekend scouting over in Bodega Bay and had family time. And
cool.
So I have some spots for us. All three of us. We should all meet in the middle.
Yeah. Let's do it, Voltron. Cool.
I'm available Tuesday.
There you go.
No.
You guys bring your drones.
Yeah. I'll bring my drone. Craig will bring his submarine, and we'll rock it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. All right. Awesome. All right. What's next for you, Craig Colvin?
I'm headed off to Utah to shoot 3 models over 5 days.
Ooh, nice, on the rock formations and all that.
I'm going to try to finish off my On the Rock series. I'm doing a book project on that.
Is that part of the series that we did when we went out to?
You've been on one of those shoots, Valley of Fire in
Valley
Vegas?
of Fire in Las
Right?
Vegas, yeah.
Yeah, with the two models, yeah. And you took some behind-the-scene video there.
I did. Yep.
So I'm doing this with a group. One of the models has arranged this. It's called Utah Adventure, and they book the models. They get the hotels. They've scouted all the locations.
Wow.
I did this with them in May, and got so many great photos and such great locations that I'm going back in September.
Very cool.
Yeah, very worthwhile. Normally on one of these, I'm trying to get from a given venue to portfolio-worthy photos.
Yeah.
Over the 5 days, I would like to get one award winner. Well, I got 3 award winners and 30 portfolio-worthy photos out of this one trip. Just the locations were awesome. The models, let's see, they have 6 different models. They have 3 trips, 3 models each trip. I've worked with 5 of the 6 models. They're all top quality, professional, been doing this, really know their stuff, really know how to pose. So I'm going to go do it again.
How many photographers per outing then?
For mine, it was 5. 6 is the maximum. 2 to 1 photographer model ratio.
Good. So you're able to get some shots that are yours, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
And a lot of times it was just one-on-one with the model. I'd say over half the time.
Yeah.
So it's a great trip.
What else you got coming up, man?
Well, I'm going to do some begin production on some lighting tutorial videos.
Yep. And where are those going to live? Where are those going to live?
I think it's something called TWiP School.
Yes, I've heard of it. Yeah. I've heard of it. Yeah, it's all the rage these days.
So all the kids are talking about it.
Yeah.
All the cool kids.
Anyway,
I'm Pokemon hunting.
I'm looking forward to getting started on those and getting them up on the school. That's and then anybody who happens to TWiP listener happens to be in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I have a couple images up at Black Earth Gallery, and that started today and will be running through end of September, I believe. It's what the show is called Peep Show.
Nice.
So it's all nude. I think there's 22 different photographers showing images.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm on the site now. Very cool.
So anyway,
awesome.
That's what I'm up to.
Very cool. You guys are busy. All right. Well, that brings us up to the end of another episode of This Week in Photo. Like Craig mentioned, soon he will have courses in the brand new TWiP School, which you can find at twipschool.com. You can check out our website that goes with this podcast at thisweekinphoto.com to subscribe to this show and our other shows, and you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and etc. etc. Oh, I am now on Snapchat, by the way. I'm giving you guys crap for Pokemon Go, and I'm on Snapchat. It's actually kind of fun.
I was there, I think, that day, so.
Yeah, yes, I am on Snapchat. No, I was on Snapchat before then, but I'm just starting to use it a little bit more. I can't. I gotta break the nut of chronicling my entire life for the world. I don't know where the fun in that is yet. So.
Well, I think you face swap some stuff too, so
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. But just like people that I'm following on Snapchat, like every morning. Good morning, Snapchat. Hey, I'm jumping in the shower. Here's my bacon. I'm getting in the car. Look at traffic. I'm getting out of the car. How do you?
We need to work on who you're following.
I guess. Yeah. I guess. So, how do you find the time to do this kind of stuff? Even one of the good examples of Snapchat usage is Gary Vaynerchuk. He's if you don't know who Gary is, then you need to go find out who Gary is.
Search Snapchat for him.
Yeah, Gary's amazing. He's prolific. He's written, several books that I've read on social media marketing, and he just knows how to do stuff. He's the guy that started Wine Library TV and then went on to do several other things. He's a boisterous, outspoken, and not afraid to tell it like it is internet celebrity. So, yeah, definitely check him out. So he's enjoyable to watch online. Also, Destin, who's he's a YouTube celeb. He does a show on YouTube called Smarter Every Day, which is awesome. I got to meet him in the White House when I went to the White House at the beginning of the year, and he's on Snapchat and he does really interesting things too. Like he'll go on trips and give people glimpses into the trips. But I don't do that first. I don't do that much interesting stuff, A. And B, I don't want to let people into my everyday boringness. So I don't know who would be interested in what Frederick is having for breakfast today. So I don't know. So I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to embrace the stuff and not be a curmudgeon, but it's hard. Every day gets harder. I don't know. But I guess the moral of the story is, if you're on Snapchat, follow me. I'm Frederick Van on Snapchat. Just search and you'll find me. And we'll put one of those little Snapchat logos in the show notes so you can scan it with your phone and find it.
Should I Snapchat this then?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Do
I was
it.
just about to do the same thing.
Oh, you guys are, both of you are on Snapchat? Where am I? Under a rock? Like, what is going on?
You don't have any teenage kids.
Wait, look at that. Wait.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
Wait. Oh, you can't. It's not enough resolution for people to see it and snap that, is it? Yeah, look at that. All right, yeah. Snapchat. Are you snapping right now, Tim?
I snapped.
You snapped?
I've snapped.
Yeah. It's cool. I like the face recognition and all that stuff. That's kind of cool, where it does the, puts little masks and stuff on you, and I think that's cool. I'm not a big fan of the news gathering they're trying to do, but some of the special effects are pretty cool. Snapchat, Frederick Van. Tim Engle, what's your Snapchat name?
Tim Engle.
Wow, creative. Craig Colvin, let me guess.
Craig Colvin.
Look at that. I love it. The old men's Snapchat names is generally their names. So, cool. All right, guys. Thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it. Guys and listeners, if you're watching us on YouTube, please comment, like, and subscribe to the show. That keeps us going and lets us know what to produce for you going forward. And with that, it's time to take that lens cap off.